Now, I just want to do a video here on the practice and qualification rounds for the Grand Prix that's on right now for the Porsche 911 GT2 RS Club Sport. And I would just advise trying to get these conditions finished really as fast as possible, pretty much as soon as you qualify, because yeah, the last time these Grand Prix kicked off, the practice conditions were all pretty much wiped and replaced with different conditions for another couple of blueprints. So you want to make sure and get those 10 that are at the end of these rewards as fast as possible. Now, you also have to finish the race 30 times, which what I'm aiming to do here basically is just like do these conditions for the 18 seconds and the barrel rolls, and then for the finish race I'm just going to put this car into it another what is that, about 10 times or so, just over the next couple of days, just in touch drive, and just let it get that condition just so that I get the 5 blueprints at the end. But yeah, like I said, just make sure and put the car in here as many times as you can. If you haven't got the quest already done for the 4 360s in one go, that really sucks to try to do that and speed at the same time, because like this car, like all other Porsches effectively, they've got the engine in the rear of the car, so when you're 360ing one, that's why it's going to throw the car off kind of center balance quite a lot. And that's kind of reflected fairly well in this game, to be honest. Like, it's kind of meant to be. I'm just going to give a run of the path that I take for this. And, like, it's always the same in these qualifications and Grand Prix. And I stressed that quite a lot. But, like, every single person's group in this is going to be different. So I can't say exactly how people are going to, like, do the best to win. I can give an idea of the paths that I take. And admittedly, like, yeah, there's comments on my last videos of these of like, that wouldn't win in my group. And yeah, I know these are player versus player, not player versus the clock. It's very important that you focus on your own group, because like if you land inside a group with a load of people who are maxing out their cars, yeah, you are going to be in trouble from jump pretty much with this. Just make sure you've got a blue nitro here for cutting across that little bit of footpath, and an imperfect whenever you're riding up on the actual ramps. Now, I'm not going to use the 360ing here because, like I said, it's really bad for time when you do that, because like this car does not handle that very well at all. So if you're aiming for a decent time in this car, you want to be like avoiding doing the 4 360s in one go. You can do them up here, alright, it's not too bad because of the fact that like you do actually have the full wide road to actually let the car get itself kind of straightened out a bit afterwards. But it's just when you're coming up there, you definitely want to avoid 360s just because of that. There's a parked car right on top of the ledge that I'm sure people will have run into it already now a number of times. Just going to grind up to a shockwave just to head towards the finish line. And yeah, just under 1:11 seconds. That's not too bad. Like in my group that qualified me at the 1:11 mark pretty much handily enough. So like it's definitely, like I said, it's down to the groups that you're in, because yeah, you could get placed into a group where that might not do anything for you in terms of like the time there. I did clip off of a parked car on the way around, but like I said, I've qualified already. My goal now is just, yeah, to knock out the last of these conditions. And yeah, because of the way that I have them done now, it is just a case of I need to do it 6 more times for the time here with beating 1:18. And in the remainder of these finish races, I'll just be doing touch drive, because yeah, all you have to do is finish the race those last 11 times then, once I have the barrel roll conditions met and that time one. But yeah, I said I'd just do a upload of the starting race for this. Again, just in terms of the Grand Prix itself, I would say for people just to kind of make sure you take a look at your group, see who's kind of in it. If you've got a lot of people in there from like really high-end clubs, like names that you recognize from the top 100, keep in mind that like how basically dedicated they are to unlocking all the cars, or how likely they are to maybe like upgrade and whale out on this car a small bit. But yeah, it might be an idea to like at the very start of the Grand Prix to bring that car up 1 or 2 stars and just kind of assert the fact that you are willing to spend some tokens on this. Again, I always stress this, but if you haven't got keys from say like the 1896 or the previous Grand Prix for the Porsche, Uh, yeah, the easiest thing to say is like, how did you perform in those Grand Prix when it comes to it being against other players? If it's a kind of a mediocre performance, realistically, just like don't burn tokens in this event if there's a chance you're not going to get the key from it, because these Grand Prix are ways that you can basically spend tons and tons of tokens, star up the car, and just walk away with absolutely nothing from the end of it, except for the fact of a little bit of hurt pride when you've got some 4-star car sitting in your garage that you can't make use of. Is really going to suck. Again, I'd stress this as well, just like if you are going to star up the car, it's way better to do that as early as possible, because there's not much point in getting like 10 points, 10 points, and 10 points in the first 2 or 3 stages, and then going like, oh no, I better star this car up, and then in the 4th and 5th getting 50 points. Because you'll land with like 130 points and not get the key. All you'll do in that case is disrupt your group a bit, but you really probably won't land the key with like 130 points. So that's one where I would say, like, try and get in early with decent enough times, and if you can get like decent times across the board, you'll probably do far better than somebody that gets like a 50 one day and then 10 points one of the other days. So just again, it all comes down to the individual groups really with this. Can't stress that enough. There's no like right and wrong way when it comes to player versus player. It is just a case of like, do your best, hope for the best, and try and use a little bit of intelligent token spending and see if you do land up in a group with like a load of players who are very likely to try to like upgrade that car. Maybe keep onto your tokens and try for the next car in a car hunt or unleashed event or special event, because there's not much point in throwing tokens at a lost cause if you do end up in a really, really tough group with not a lot of keys to be had. Alright guys, but that's pretty much it for the start of this. I'm going to be doing runs as well throughout this event, but like I said, it is just going to be a case of, here's the pathway that I take. So it's using the same 5 stages then that all of these Grand Prix do. So you've got the 2 in Osaka, Pantheon Split, which is now the qualification track. You have the Tunnel Jam in San Francisco, Reach for the Sky in Shanghai as well. I think that's it. Maybe might be forgetting one, but it is the exact same tracks that all of the Grand Prix have had, just in a slightly shuffled around order. But guys, like I say, always there's a sub button up there over my head. If this is one of the first videos you watched, there's indie videos for me up there of an indie game on the Nintendo Switch, and there is something over this side that YouTube thinks you like. It'll probably be Asphalt related, but guys, good luck, drive safe, and mind those tokens in this Grand Prix especially.